you from Surprise Stadium in Surprise, Arizona, where this afternoon Comcast Sportsnet presents White Sox baseball. It's Adam Dunn, Alexa Ramirez, Chris Sale in our Sox as they get set to butt heads with the tough Texas Rangers. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Along with Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you our next to final telecast coming from spring training. Tomorrow will be the final one. We'll have that one for you right here on Comcast as well, and that will be against the Cleveland Indians. And then after the game tomorrow, we will jump on our charter, head on home, get ready to tee it up April 1st in the opener. But in today's game, both teams have their opening day pitchers out there.
Matt Harrison's going to the mound for Texas. Last year he won 18 games, was an all-star. And if you can beat Hugh Darvish as a #1 starter, you're doing something. And Harrison's a good one, so we'll see him today, and then he'll be ready to go. Chris Sale last year won 17 games, and he showed everybody in his first year as a starter that he's for real. We're looking for some big things from him this year. Everybody picks Texas third. A lot of people pick our ball club third or fourth. I think both teams will do a whole lot better than that, and we'll take a look at it today.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Welcome back to Surprise Stadium in Surprise, Arizona, where our Sox take on the Texas Rangers. The Rangers, who lost Josh Hamilton, they tried to retain Zach Greinke, but they lost him also. Still, with the losses of this team, what they still have in place is pretty good. And we're going to see a little bit of that today as you look at Ron Washington. Washington's one of those guys that lets his team play, and yet they do fundamentally run a pretty solid ship. So let's see how Robin's going to line up our Sox today. It's going to be Dwayne Wise leading off in center field, Jeff Keppinger at first base, Diane Vicieto in left field, Adam Dunn, the designated hitter, with Lexi Ramirez at shortstop. Connor Gillespie is at third, Hector Jimenez catching, Carlos Sanchez at second base, and Brandon Short playing right field. The defense has a lineup behind Matt Harrison. Left to right, Murphy, Gentry, and Cruz in the infield. And it's a good one. Beltre, Andrus, Kinsler, and Moreland. Giovanni Soto gets a nod behind the plate. No A.J. Pierzynski, at least for the moment. And our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Matt Harrison. Last year he won 18 games. Off to a pretty good spring. He is their #1 starter. He credits a number of sports psychologists with his improvement, originally with the Atlanta Braves. Was traded over years ago in a deal that sent Mark Teixeira to the Braves. And Harrison has turned out to be everything they thought he could be, and maybe a little bit more. There's a look at Robin, as his team is certainly ready to head north and will tomorrow after the game. So on another beautiful day at the old ballpark, we're ready to play baseball. I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
Hi, Stoney. Thank you very much. And once again, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Next to last game for us before we come home tomorrow after the game with Cleveland. Wayne Wise will lead it off. Wayne hitting it .260 on the spring. 3 homers, 7 RBIs. Matt Harrison, 27-year-old southpaw out of Stem, North Carolina. He's a big man, 6'4", 240 pounds. And here at Surprise Stadium, 350 down the lines, 379 in the gaps, and 400 straight away center.
Last 2 seasons, Harrison has won 32 games. That places him 8th in the major leagues in wins.
Well, he's a guy that was originally signed by the Atlanta Braves, and he's an interesting study, so to speak. He grew up, they didn't have a whole bunch, his family. They lived in a double-wide trailer. And 5 of the 20 acres that trailer was owned, he used to grow fruit and vegetables for the family. He says everything we ate, we grew, except for the meat.
I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, you would.
No fruits, no vegetables. I'm a meatitarian, and you're not going to grow that.
There's that chop foul.
What he is pretty happy about, however, is a 5-year, $55 million contract. And that gives him stability and knowing where he's going to be for a while. He figured maybe he could have gotten more someplace, but he loves Texas, and that's where he wants to be.
Kinsler sucks it up, throws him out, 1 down. Yeah, he says that his girlfriend, who is now his wife, in high school, had to buy him lunch because he just didn't have the money. And you talked about the $55 million.
He's got it now.
They got it now. He's going to pay her back. Here's Keppinger. Jeff hitting at .462 on the spring. He's 18 for 39. Beltre underneath as usual. 2 down.
Got to keep it away from that guy. Gold glove at third base. And showing no signs of slowing down. He was a great addition to this team. Came over as a free agent. He is one of their team leaders, if not the team leader. And he certainly adds a whole lot of toughness to a club that I believe needed it. I mean, they could always hit, but when Nolan Ryan took over, he brought some guys that he felt were tough players, and Adrian Beltre is one of those guys.
Well, Nolan Ryan certainly has done his job.
Well, he has that, and he's done it because he decided that
ball's hammered by a tank. Nobody's going to get that one. So he will cruise into second base.
Well, Nolan decided that his 5-and-fly approach to pitching just wasn't going to get it in Texas. They were always known as an organization that could hit the baseball, and they surrounded themselves with what they thought were the best hitters around. When Tom Hicks took over as the owner, he got every hitter he could find. But Nolan decided that they were going to have to do it with pitching, and that ERA has gone down and down and down since Nolan arrived. And right now, when you look at their pitching top to bottom, including their bullpen, they're one of the better pitching teams around, considering that they're playing in a home park that's conducive to hitters.
Adam, well, that's one of the fastest turnarounds an organization has made in recent memory.
They got the right guy. They put him in charge. They allowed him, along with John Daniels, to build their team and change the culture of the organization, which was really important, because they weren't winning anything with the culture they had.
Well, the culture they had was they went along with a lot of the pitchers trying to, as you said, 5-and-fly in that heat.
Yep.
Nolan said, that's not going to work anymore, boys. Adam hitting at 204, 3 homers, 9 RBIs on the spring.
Good morning, buddy. Good work, Theo.
A beautiful day, yet another beautiful day here in Arizona. And being a Florida guy for so long, I never thought that I would say that this is better to have spring training in than Florida. But it is.
Usually more consistent, usually less wind.
That's a fair ball. So here comes Tank on the double by Dunn. And Sox take a quick 1-0 lead.
With the infield shift on, there was nobody home at third base. This one going down the line, a play that Beltre would have made had he not shifted to almost a shortstop position. So Adam, knowing that spring training, he's going to get a 3-1 fastball, just takes it the other way. And a good beginning to this one.
Alexei hitting at 264, no homers, 6 RBIs. Takes ball 1, close pitch, goes Ramirez's way. Alexei last year 269, 9 homers and 73 knocked in.
You would expect that he's going to hit a lot more than 9 home runs this year.
He is. I was just shocked. Of course, every year he's been with us, he has been a very, very slow starter. Three and 0 the count.
Make it work. Your pitch.
There's one.
Their number 5 starter was supposed to be Martin Perez, but he took a line drive off his forearm. It broke, and they've announced Nick Tapish as their new number 5 starter. He's out of University of Missouri.
Pass back through the middle. They're going to wave Adam around. They got a shot with a good throw, but it's not. As Adam pulled up, went back in. Now the high throw allows Alexei to move into not a good play at all by Gentry. But what made him throw that way is the hustle of Dunn.
It looked like Adam was going to take off. Another 3-1 fastball right back up the middle. Gentry gets to the ball quickly, but he throws it so high that Mitch Moreland couldn't cut it off. When that happens, the trailer, in this case Ramirez, always goes to second base. Adam was held up. Wasn't a good throw, but probably good enough to get the big man. And now it takes the force out of the equation. So with 2 out and nobody on, our ball club starting a rally.
Here's Connor Gillespie. Takes first pitch strike. Connor hitting at 268 on the spring. A couple of homers, and he's knocked in 10. And there's a shot right to the shortstop. So they put some lumber out on Matt Harrison in this inning. Meanwhile, we can only come up with 1 on 3 hits. Strand 2, and after half inning it played. It's 1-0 good guys.
Let's take a look at how the Rangers are going to line them up under Ron Washington. It's going to be Ian Kinsler leading it off, then Elvis Andrus. Lance Berkman, the DH, with Beltre, Cruz, Murphy, Soto, Moreland, and Gentry rounding it out. The defense behind Chris Sale. Biciedo, Wise, and Short left to right with Gillespie, Ramirez, Sanchez, and Keppinger. Hector Jimenez behind the plate, and our Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is Chris Sale, our opening day starter.
Kinsler. Hot shot. Down to Gillespie. 1 pitch, 1 out.
That's what Chris has done this spring. He's going to be most unhappy to see spring end as he's bidding to go 4-0, and they'll wipe all of that off the board. As you can see, left-handers haven't done a whole lot with him.
Here's Andrus, a very, very talented young shortstop. Having a big spring. 413, couple of homers. Change up outside. So Chris will be in the last 14 years, Chris will be the 13th left-hander to start the season.
Not surprising. Mark Burley there for a long time. 9 opening day starts.
Boy, these guys are hanging out some hip on both these left-handers. Right at them. 2 down.
Well, you like Elvis Andrus, and yet their number 1 prospect, and some people think the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, Jurickson Profar, was just sent to the minor leagues. Now, Andrus is going to be a free agent after 2014. You believe they're going to sign him or should sign him?
Well, I didn't know he had Scott Boras as an agent, but I don't know if they will sign him. Not if Profar is that good a prospect.
He's pretty good.
Well,
and
that might make the decision right there.
Andrus is a pretty good player.
He's a very good player, very talented guy. And then again, Boras is a very talented agent.
He is that. Doesn't sign him too early, too often.
No.
Thought here in Texas was to take Kinsler, put him at first for a while, which would, of course, take Mitch Moreland, a good left-hand hitter, put him on the bench. Then they decided to go with Moreland and Kinsler and sent down Profar.
Bergman, 37-year-old veteran. Hurt most of last year, but in 2011 with the Cardinals, hit .301, 31 homers, and drove in 95.
He's a switch hitter. He's a line drive hitter right-handed, has most of his power left-handed, and he's had a lot of problems. Last year, a knee problem kept him sidelined most of the year.
Did not check it up.
And before that, he had periodic calf problems, so he doesn't like the call, but it evens account at 2.
Well, Bergman has the 4th most home runs by a switch hitter ever. As he gone, he has 360, but after 1, it is 1-0 Sox. Hector Jimenez. As you see, tickets are on sale for the upcoming season right now. Now, opening day is sold out. There are no more tickets available for opening day, but prices have been greatly reduced for nearly all games, and the schedule is full of great matchups, promotional nights, family Sundays, and post-game fireworks. So purchase your tickets today by visiting WhiteSox.com or call 866-SOX-GAME. This young man here has very quietly, with everything else that's been going on, had himself a fine spring training. Hector hitting at .364, no homers and 6 RBIs, and handles himself extremely well behind the plate. He looked good when we saw him last year, 10 of the season.
And being a switch hitter gives you the ideal backup catcher. So with Tyler Flowers, number 1, Jimenez has a fairly short stroke, which will serve him well because he's not going to play all that often.
You're getting that ball.
There's a chopper 2 hopper. 1 down. So here's Angel Sanchez, who has made the ball club.
He's got to be pretty happy being a Rule 5 draft out of the Houston organization, which means he wasn't protected on their 40-man. And Rick Hahn and the scouts said, this guy can help us in a utility role, and that's exactly what happened. He was thrilled to death to make the ball club.
Well, last year at Oklahoma City, he had .320, 5 homers, and drove in 45. And Rick, of course, said he's very aggressive out there at short. So anytime you get a guy who is very aggressive, you're going to make a few errors. But overall, he's got good hands and a good arm.
And can play all the infield positions, which is essential if you're going to have that swing man, because occasionally you're going to need different spots filled.
Had him out in front on that one.
This Texas team lost a whole lot from last year. Mike Adams, very good out of the bullpen. Josh Hamilton went to the Angels. Mark Lowe, Mike Napoli, Koji Uhura. They traded away Michael Young.
And there's a shot in the hole for a base hit.
They also made a very strong run at Zach Greinke. But in the end, Greinke signed a $147 million deal with the Angels. Looks like Harrison is content to just throw fastballs in fastball situations, which in the season you're not going to see, but in spring training you give up a lot of line drives that way.
Here's short, Brandon. 3 for 11 in his limited action this spring. But a good-looking young player. The ball really hammered. And they turn it over. So that'll retire the side. And after an inning and a half, it's still 1-0 good guys.
Tomorrow, it's a big-time showdown at the United Center as LeBron and the Heat pay a visit to the West Side. CSN's exclusive pregame coverage kicks off from the concourse at 6:30. Don't miss the Bulls Heat with Neil Funk and Stacey King tomorrow night at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. Can anybody beat the Heat? 27 in a row.
And here is Beltre, one of the more exciting and fun to watch guys in baseball. Last year, he had 321, 36 homers, and drove in 102.
There'll be a little more pressure on him in the middle of that lineup without Josh Hamilton. I think he's going to be just fine, but that's a huge bat that they're going to miss.
I get it.
Well, Beltre's major league debut on June 24th, 1998. That was against the Dodgers, and the starting left fielder for the Dodgers that day was Paul Konerko.
Covered a lot of ground, did he?
Chops that one foul.
Last year, Beltre, in 1 week, hit 3 home runs in a game and then hit for the cycle. Only one of the guys ever been able to do that. That was Joe DiMaggio a long time ago.
One down.
Oh, no.
Chicago fans.
Yeah. They got the city covered. As here's Nelson Cruz. Cruz last year, 29 homers, 87 knocked in.
I get it.
On the spring, hitting at 290, a couple of long ones, and 9 RBIs. He got a good pitch to hit in. Made a good swing just underneath it. Thank goodness. He can hit them out anywhere.
Well, last year he got himself in a lot better shape, and this year you figure he's in even better shape because this is the last year of his contract. Guys have a tendency to get in great shape when they're in their walk year. Cruz has always had big power to right and right center, and that holds him in very good stead in his home ballpark.
Cook, he gone. Chris can strike you out.
He's got 3+ major league pitches. Of course, Chris last year became the first White Sox pitcher in history with over 150 innings to average at least 1 strikeout per inning, which shows you just how good his stuff is. That seems miraculous to me because the White Sox historically have had such good pitchers. I mean, you faced a lot of them.
A lot of them. But as you mentioned earlier, too, they didn't have the 95 to 98 mile an hour fastballs. Most of them were sinker slider curves. They kept the ball down. You hit a lot of ground balls off the White Sox. They were just tough to get base hits off of.
Well, they had a very good infield and certainly took advantage of that in the glory days.
Murphy, David, last year hit 304, 15 homers, and drove in 61 in platoon type action.
Chris has shown you today that that changeup is getting better and better. Because with his fastball and the big breaking slider he uses, the changeup is a great weapon for him.
And he strikes him out. So 6 up, 6 down, 3 punch outs, and we lead it 1-0. And Sox fans, opening day is April 1st at 3:10 against the Kansas City Royals. And as we mentioned, that is a sold-out game. No tickets are available for that. And all those fans who are there that day will receive a magnetic schedule as Wise butts it. And it's going to hit the cut of the grass, the seam, and kick it foul. But all fans will receive that White Sox magnetic schedule and rally towel presented by U.S. Cellular, the exclusive wireless provider of our Sox. Purchase your tickets today, which you can't get for opening day.
Pretty good attempt by Dwayne Wise. And you have to do that every now and then because there's still a lot of scouts in the seats. All the advanced guys, they will put down now that Wise will bunt. That'll pull in every third baseman in the league when the season starts.
Well, Dwayne is just an excellent addition to this ball club. He is very well liked in the clubhouse by all his teammates. Does a terrific job. He can steal a base for you. Terrific outfielder, as Mark Burley.
And he also accepts the role that he's playing, which is terrific. He can play all 3 outfield positions and get off the bench.
If he didn't, he wouldn't have everybody in the clubhouse loving it.
That's true.
Guys hate that, to have somebody in that clubhouse that doesn't accept what they're doing or not playing. One out. Wise now for 2. He led off the ball game hitting a sharp grounder to Ian Kinsler.
Well, he could really come into play because Alex Rios is still nursing a bit of a sore back, and we're going to find out a little bit more tomorrow in our final game down here before flying back to Chicago, having the off day. The team will play 2 in Milwaukee, but hopefully Alex is 100% to start this season.
Here's Keppinger. He hit a sharp ground ball down to Beltre. Keppinger, odd stat here. He has more extra base hits in his career than he does strikeouts.
That's not surprising because year after year, he's one of the most difficult men in all of baseball to strike out.
Well, in his career, he has 176 extra base hits, and he struck out 173 times.
That's pretty amazing. In this day and age where strikeouts have lost that stigma of years ago, now most people just view it as an out.
Change up.
I think with many of the defenses around baseball these days, ours excluded, you put the ball in play, you've got a pretty good chance.
unusual stat right there. Full count to the 32-year-old infielder. And there's a sharp single to right. Well, it's going to give Robin, as we talked about the other day in our telecast, it's going to give Robin a lot more flexibility and freedom to do things because of Keppinger hitting in the 2-hole.
Well, he just showed you that's the perfect way to hit the baseball on a hit and run, something that I'm sure Robin's going to do more of this year. Keppinger is not afraid to go deep in the count because he knows he's not going to strike out. So with Diaza, he can steal a base, have a couple of pitches instead of just the first pitch, so you don't run into as many pitch outs. And he'll really help. Keppinger can do a lot of things with the bat. And instead of that revolving door in the 2 spot that we had last year, Keppinger will consistently be there.
Yeah, that's one spot. Has more responsibilities than any other spot in the lineup. And you've got to have a guy who's a good 2-strike hitter hitting in that spot. Tank, with 2 out in the first inning, hit a bullet out there in the right center field for a double and came around to score on Dunn's backup double.
That first inning with 3 straight hits, they were all on fastballs. Now we're seeing a little bit more of the Harrison straight change.
Boy, he pitched a terrific game against us down in Texas, although we beat him in that game. And that changeup he featured was just very good.
That time he changed his motion. That's what hitters have to be ready for. That was really a quick pitch from the set position. He knew Keppinger wasn't going to steal. But watch the front foot. Watch how low the front foot is. It's actually a slide step, but what it does is he gets Viciato with the timing of that and then quick pitches him essentially. Couldn't get either pitch by him.
Well, Tank finished up strong last year, knocking in 20 runs after September 1st. He was one of the few that were knocking in some runs. And that is into right field. Cruz is there. 2 down. Here's Adam. That double right down the third baseline. Backing up Tanks.
What little wind there is, and it's not much of a factor today, is blowing out toward left center field. Not much of a factor. There are some times when it can be a huge factor, especially out here in Surprise. Harrison about ready to make his 20th pitch of the inning.
Beltre way off the line at third. And the 2-1 pitch.
Come on, buddy.
This was the same count when Adam sliced that ball between Beltre and the bag in the first inning. He's going to get an inside fastball this time.
Couldn't pull the trigger. So Moreland will play behind Keppinger. And there's ball 4. So a good at bat. And that'll bring up Alexi, who singles sharply back through the middle.
A good at bat and a very long first inning for Matt Harrison. A long third inning, long first and a long third inning.
That breaking ball misses. Outfield for the most part bunched just a little bit and straight up. Change up. And if you're just tuning in, A.J. Pierzynski is not in the lineup. A.J. on the spring, hitting at .294, a homer, and he's driven in 7.
We were talking with a couple of broadcasters. They're very happy to have him, thinking that he's not only going to do a good job behind the plate, but they love what he'll be able to do with the bat in that ballpark. But they have changed the concourse. They now have an open concourse, part of a $12 million renovation that will get them another row of seats. But with the open concourse, they figure somehow it's going to change the flight pattern of the baseball. They don't think the jet stream is going to be to right field like it has been in years past. That remains to be seen. It's still left-hand hitter's paradise, but we'll see how it affects it.
2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the top of the 3rd inning. A.J. and I were texting back and forth yesterday as we were both watching as he gets him on a changeup. And that'll retire the side. It's 1-0 White Sox. It's 1-0 White Sox here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And joining us down in our dugout now is our new first base coach and former Sox outfielder, Daryl Boston. DB, it's good to have you, buddy.
Hawk, it's good to be here. How's
it going for you?
Well, one thing for sure is it's awfully nice to be back in the big leagues.
Well, that's true. That's true. What have you been coaching a lot. You hadn't been coaching a lot of first base down in the minor leagues.
No, actually, I haven't been doing any. Roving, I'm usually sitting in the dugout, but I have been reaching out to some of my former friends. Gary Pettis, who was a former first base coach, and Rusty Kuntz, who has been giving me some pointers.
Well, the one thing that you got to do for sure is make sure they check their outfielders.
Well, that's absolutely. We're trying to be a little more aggressive on the bases, try to get them to bust it a little harder out of the box, make some good turns, and we want to make 90 feet important to them.
Yeah, well, that we have now. Beckham's pretty good about checking them, but we got a few guys that are a little lax, so it's up to you to get them on their toes, checking those guys, because that way they can take that extra 90 feet.
Well, you're exactly right about that. Now, I try to remind them, take a peek at the outfielders, know where the infielders are positioned. We got to make 90 feet important. How can we get an additional 90 feet?
Well, people think that ball's hit hard by Soto. Way back. Wise looks up, and this game is tied at 1 on the home run by Giovanni Soto. That's the first hit, the first base runner for the Rangers. But a lot of people just take for granted the first base coaching, yet that's a huge, maybe not quite as important certainly as third base, but it's a huge importance to that job.
Yeah, one thing I try to provide over there is a little energy. I'm constantly yelling at them to, come on, pick up the ball, or like I said, 90 feet has got to be important to us. So there's going to be some teams that are, man for man, maybe a little. We may be behind, but we can take advantage of it on the bases, and that's what my job is to do.
You're still also using that clicker down there, so how difficult is it to get used to that, to get a time on each one of the pitchers as far as from the stretch to home plate?
Well, it's not difficult. I got it in my hand, and I'm trying to get every time he picks up his leg. Some guys want the information more than the others, but I try to make sure that it's available to them.
How about the slide step? Do you know guys that like to use the slide step? Will you have reports like that?
Yes, Twig provides all that information. I'm watching this guy Harrison today. I got my clock out, and he picks up. He's like a 1-4, but most of the time he's been slide stepping. He's under 1. We can't run under 1.
Now, to Keppinger, when Keppinger was at first with Viciedo hitting, he was using the slide step, and you can forget about the running game at that point.
Yeah, he was under 1, and one of the numbers, if the pitcher is about 1-3, we feel like we got a chance to possibly steal that base, and under 1 is almost impossible. That's like a kamikaze sentence.
Well, nice play out there by Brandon
Shorty. Nice play, Shorty.
They came flying out there. DB, we're glad to have you. But how's your golf game?
Hawk is getting better. Immediately once I joined the staff, I became the number 2 golfer on the staff. I'm still trying to track down Robin, though.
Well, thanks for the time, buddy, and we're glad to have you up here in the big leagues.
All right, man.
Devo, one of the best knuckleball hitters in the American League when he was playing.
Not an easy thing to do.
No, he could wear it out. Devo is a big guy, too. People don't, until you stand next to him, don't realize how big he is. Gentry. Greg, last year, hit 304, homer, drove in 26. But this spring, hitting at 333, a couple of homers, 8 RBIs, and they tell us he has really been swinging that bat.
Well, he can also fly, so you can't play him too deep in the infield, because if he hits a chopper, he's going to beat it out. And what a play by Ramirez. He guns him down at first by a step. And so there are 2 outs. Good effort by Alexei at short. We've seen a whole lot of that over his very young career.
Well, last year he was just spectacular at shortstop. It doesn't get much better than Alexei Ramirez out there.
That's a tough pick. Once he gets it, there's nobody can outrun that arm, even the fastest of them. And Gentry is one of the fastest right-handers in the league.
Here's Kinsler. And once again, in case you're just tuning in, did not hear, there are no more opening day tickets to be had. It is a sellout.
Come on, Mike.
1-5-0 for us, 1-1-0 for them.
supposed to be around 53 degrees, which is not all that bad, especially in comparison to some of the other opening days.
Two and one to count. Kinsler has more career home runs than any other player born in Arizona. 143.
He loves the first ball fastball. He is one of the most aggressive hitters in all of baseball.
Oops. He gone. But the home run, the long home run by Soto, and this game is tied at 1. Gillespie leading off here in the top of the fourth in this 1-1 tie. Connor 0 for 1. He hit a rocket right to Elvis Andrus at short. His first at bat.
Kind of another one of the offseason pickups by Rick Hahn. One of those you didn't hear a whole lot about, but could turn out to be very important. He gives Robin a huge insurance policy and a guy that can swing the bat, and more important, swing the bat off the bench because of that short stroke, because he's not going to start that many games, but he will be called on late to come and try to win a ball game against some of the real tough right-handed setup men and closers.
Yeah, being a left-handed pinch hitter, you're going to be seeing almost every time that you don't start a game. If you do get in that game and pinch hit, you're going to be seeing some of the best they got out there.
And to do that, you can't have a long stroke, because if you have a long stroke and you're not playing every day, you're not going to get much out of it.
And Gillespie, who played with Kenny Williams Jr. at Wichita State. Out and around it. High hopper. Just to get him.
Wichita State is in the Sweet 16, as well as Chris Sales. Surprising. Florida Gulf Coast.
Very surprising.
It's unbelievable. First number 15th seed ever to make the Sweet 16. And it's no fluke. They played some pretty good basketball down there, especially for a program that's only 6 years old. And, of course, Chris is exceptionally happy about it, very proud of the guys and the way they've done it, and said before the tournament started, watch these guys because they're going to surprise you.
Well, for all baseball players, well, not all, but the majority of baseball players, March Madness is one of their favorite events.
It's It's a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to give you something towards the end of spring training when the dog days are there.
To get you through?
Yeah. To follow, and everybody gets the pools going. Hector got it out to Andrus. Two balls and a strike. Just tuning in, Sox with a run in the first. Back-to-back doubles by Viciato and Dunn. And they miss him.
Got a chance of being E6. Andrews had time, but just threw it off the mark. Moreland went to make the swipe tag and just missed him. The bat goes flying. And that one high and away. Can't get him on the tag.
So here's Sanchez. He singles sharply in the hole. Takes ball one. And that is an error. That's just the 15th error that Texas has made this spring.
Pretty impressive on these fields, because we tell you, without a whole lot of rain, infields get very hard. The high skies make it difficult in the outfield, and the ball just seems to shoot through. Yet it's to you a whole lot faster in the spring than it will during the season.
Takes it. And the count 2-1. That's a little low. 3 balls and a strike.
This Texas team last year won 93 games. Would sound like a pretty good year, but for a team that went to the World Series 2 years in a row only to come up short, they expected better things. They played Baltimore in the playoffs, in the wild card game, and were eliminated, losing 5-1 in that first game. So it turned out to be disappointing.
Robin puts the hit and run on, and a full count.
This team had a 5-game lead with 9 to go. And amazingly enough, they were caught by Oakland, much to the surprise of a whole lot of people, certainly around Washington being one of them. And then the early exit from the playoffs was something that nobody expected.
Well, just a bitter, bitter end, as there's a high chopper over the head of Beltre. So Murphy will get it back in. And with 1 out, we have 2 on. And that'll bring up Brandon Short.
There's a spring training base hit. Chopped down right in front of the plate, and it hits that rock hard area. And almost like a trampoline, goes way over the head of Beltre.
So Brandon, who is 0 for 1. Back in the second inning with Sanchez on. He hit a rocket down to Beltre, and he turned it into a 5-4-3 double play.
What do you think of their number 2 pitcher, Hugh Darvish?
I love him.
He was something last year, wasn't he?
I love him. I think he's got a chance to be a 20-game winner.
Well, 16-9, and he got off to a slow start.
That ball's hit hard. Murphy looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes! What a thrill for Brandon Short, who missed most of last season with injuries. A 3-run homer, and the Sox lead it 4-1.
Opportunity for Brandon Short as he gets a changeup up and out over the plate and drills it over the head of Murphy. So the back injury, or the back stiffness, of Alex Rios has given Brandon Short a chance to play some more, and he's trying to make the most of it. So that's going to be it for Harrison as Ron Washington comes out. He will depart, as will we. And we'll be back after these messages. Derek Lowe comes into the game, and he was in competition for the 5th starting spot. He lost that. There you look at the numbers this spring. Opponents hitting him pretty hard. Already given up 4 home runs, testament to a sinker that doesn't sink. But he does have a lot of experience. He's been with Seattle, Boston, the Dodgers, the Braves, the Indians, and the Yankees.
He was a terrific pitcher for the Red Sox. And a closer.
I was saying he's been both a starter and a closer, so he's seen both ends of it.
That ball's hammered. Stay fair. It won't. Well, you and I were just watching him stride here in between warm-up pitches. He's really getting, for a sinker ball pitcher, he's getting out there a long way.
If you don't get on top of the ball, it's not going to sink for you, and that's really what's happened to him the last couple of years. And if it does start to sink, it'll sink for a couple of innings and then all of a sudden go away. And that's what's been happening to him. But a lot of folks felt that with his experience, after Perez went down with a broken forearm, that he would actually be given the shot, seeing as they don't need the number 5 starter for a bit. But it didn't work out that way.
Full count to Wise. But getting back to Brandon Short, who just cranked out that long 3-run homer. Last year he only played in 22 ball games.
That's frustrating.
But the previous 2 years in 2 parks that are not conducive that much for home runs, in Winston-Salem and certainly Birmingham. Birmingham, he hit 13 homers, and in Winston-Salem hit 15, so he's got some pop. And there's ball 4. Here's Keppinger. Jeff is 1 for 2. Hit the ball very hard down to Beltre in the first at bat in the first inning, and then in the third hit a sharp single on a 3-2 pitch in between first and second.
Brad Mills loosening up for the Rangers.
Keppinger. Trying to stay inside the ball. He did. Fouls it off right side. Derek is the only Major League Baseball player allowed to take Adderall to help treat his adult attention deficit disorder. That was first prescribed in 2003.
A few folks now taking it.
A lot.
Yep.
Very wide open stance, and there's another base hit for Keppinger. He is 2 for 3 today. He is now 20 for 42.
I just like the fact that on a team that is going to strike out a whole lot, he's a guy that will consistently put the bat on the ball. This is another one of those sinkers that doesn't sink. You throw waist-high sinkers, you're going to have some problems. That's one of the reasons why Derek Lowe did not make it as a number 5 starter.
Well, as you just said, it's hard to stay on top when you're out there that far.
He's a big man, but whether it's a curveball or a sinker, you have to stay on top, and it helps to have a shorter rather than longer stride.
There's a chopper down to Beltre. Steps on third, goes to first for the double play, but the 3-run homer by Brandon Short. Sox lead it 4-1.
Tonight, keep it right here on Comcast Sportsnet as the Blackhawks battle the Flames. Tune in as the Hawks look to take down Calgary in front of the United Center crowd. Blackhawks Flames tonight at 7 on Comcast Sportsnet.
It's the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-8-0 for our guys. 1-1-1 for their guys. It'll be Andrus, Berkman, and Beltre. And last time Elvis was at the plate, we were talking about him being a free agent after 2014. And we talk about guys who are good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitters, and guys who are good hitters against 2nd and 3rd tier pitching. Elvis Andrus has hit good pitching pretty well. He's a .383 career hitter against Jared Weaver.
That's hard to do for a right-hander because I don't think most of them pick up the baseball.
He's a .314 career hitter against Felix Hernandez.
314? That has to be one of the highest in the league against King Felix.
.407 career hitter against David Price.
And left-handed, right-handed, you might be able to say that, although David Price has excellent stuff.
Listen to this one. .464 career hitter against his now teammate, James Shields.
Well, that's why he told him to bring him over.
Yeah.
Because he's getting too many hits.
Gillespie's got him. He is now 0 for 2. Also, he's a 409 career hitter against Sabathia and a 333 career hitter against Gio Gonzalez. That's a pretty good pitching right there to be hitting those kind of numbers.
I'm not sure how anybody hits 333 against Gio, because watching him and that curveball, some days
Gio might have the best curveball in the game.
You look like you're chopping wood. I mean, that ball just, you see it up there, and next thing you know, it's in the catcher's glove in the zone.
Playing in perfectly, Sanchez. So Bergman is retired. He's now 0 for 2. He struck out his first at bat. Yeah, but Gio might just have the best curveball in the game.
It's a pretty good 1-2 combination, Strasburg and Gonzalez for the Washington Nationals.
So here's Beltre. Beltre grounded out to short.
Sox outfield playing Beltre exactly straight up. We pan around, show you the defense.
Two out and a 1-2 pitch. Tried to backdoor him. You know, Chris Sale, remember the game he pitched against Texas last year? That was his most impressive win to me. He only hit 90 twice. He had that dead arm.
He had the dead arm. He used the off-speed pitches, and he really had to pitch. Just like that.
1-2, 3 inning. That's 5 strikeouts for our 24-year-old southpaw, and he leads it by 3.
We're here.
Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
And a reminder, join the White Sox Kids Club presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. We are teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity. Members will receive free White Sox tickets and cool exclusive Kids Club items. Adam Dunn. Adam has an RBI double and a walk.
Adam should like to hit against Derek Lowe because he keeps the ball down. He tries to sink it, and Adam loves low fastballs. Now, that time he took a little something off, had him out in front of it, and had him in an 0-2 hole. First 2 times up, he was 3-0, 3-1. Not so this time. Outfield straight away. Modified shift with Andrus on the third base side of second, which is most unusual. And that one right down the middle. Adam just looks at it, doesn't like the call, but spring training for everyone. So we take another look at it. Has some movement. Adam thought it might have been a little high, but certainly had the plate.
Oh, here's Alexei. He singled sharply up the middle and struck out. Yeah, my first 5 years in the big leagues, I hit 0-2 probably 98% of the time. 0-2-1-2. You can't hit 0-2-1-2. Not against big league pitching.
Well, you're taking pitches you can hit, and you're swinging to pitches you can't.
That's exactly what happens. Exactly. I went through 5 years of that. 2 down.
Did you have any idea at that point what pitchers were trying to do to you?
No, I was too worried about where my hands were, where my feet were. All my thoughts were behind from the plate back. I was thinking mechanics, you know. And I'm telling you, you go to the plate against big league pitching, you're thinking mechanics. You're going to be 0-1-0-2 in a heartbeat.
Happens to a lot of young hitters where they don't have a good feel for the strike zone.
Well, and then fortunately I had a guy that got me to start thinking instead of mechanics. There's Lindstrom warming up. He got me thinking about approach, and it changed my whole thought process.
And that guy was?
The Silver Fox. He was an old coach. That's what we always call the Silver Fox. From Houston, Texas. God rest his soul. And then, once he got me started thinking about the approach, I went from being 0-2, 1-2 hitter to the next year leading big leagues in RBIs. That's quite a, I mean, that says something for thinking mechanics versus thinking approach.
It also says something for a coach who kind of knows how to get the best out of a hitter who hasn't figured it out quite yet.
Oh, yeah, it was driving me crazy. Hit sharply by Gillespie. 1-2-3 inning. We're halfway home, leading 4-1.
The day is done for Chris Sale as he goes 4, gives up 1 run on 1 hit. Was very impressive here today. And Matt Lindstrom comes in to take his spot. Handed a 4-1 lead. There's a look at Matt. Last time out wasn't a great outing for him. Other than that and his inability last time to get the ball over the plate, he's had a pretty decent spring with opponents hitting just 158. So he's another addition to the ball club by Rick Hahn. Tollefson takes over at shortstop, and Bell will go to first. So Ramirez and Keppinger out of the game.
It'll be Cruz, Murphy, and Soto for the Wranglers. Cruz struck out his first trip. 5 strikeouts for Chris. First pitch strike.
Our situational left-hander, Donnie Veal, who says he doesn't mind that particular term.
Sanchez, Bell, 1 out. No, not to stay in the big leagues.
No, I mean, there's a lot of guys who said, well, I can, I do more than that. But when you have less innings than appearances consistently, you are a situational left-hander, and they're invaluable. You get a good one, and there's not that many good ones around. They can hang around a long time.
Well, he was just outstanding for us last season in that role. And a lot of times, as you well know, you've seen it a lot in your career as I have. Just because a guy can do one thing doesn't mean he can do a lot of other things.
No, and Veal at one point was the #1 prospect in the Chicago Cubs organization as a starter. But didn't work out. Made the rounds, made the transition, and now has found a home in our bullpen doing what he's doing.
Yes, he did. Yeah, just because you're a good center fielder does not mean you'll be a good right fielder. Just because you're a good right fielder does not mean you can play center field.
Well, we've certainly seen that a lot.
Oh, yeah. One of the funniest ones I ever saw was Dwight Evans, who was as good as any right fielder you'll ever see. Played for the Red Sox. Freddie Lynn got hurt, and they put him out in center field, and it's like he had never put on a pair of spikes.
It's a different world, and center field should be easy because you can read the ball off the bat.
But it's the easiest spot to play.
If you've got the speed, you should be able to adapt to center field. Doesn't always work that way, but as we saw right here in Chicago with Nick Swisher, when they moved him out of right and put him in center, it didn't work out well. Swisher, by the way, very lucrative long-term deal with the Cleveland Indians, one of their additions. They've got a revamped baseball team that a lot of people are picking to not only be considerably better, but also to make a strong run at second place. But with
they're
them,
going to be better than they were last year.
Like them with most teams, though, they've got a good bullpen. Their starting rotation has got to improve drastically.
They're I don't think they're there yet. Boy, that's a tough ball for the third baseman. The left-handed hitter hits that Skinner down to you like that. Meanwhile, he makes it 2 down.
Giovanni Soto, as he's gotten older, has tried to pull just about everything. So usually if you stay away or if you go way in, you're going to get him. He is the backup catcher to A.J. Pierzynski.
Soto just killed one, leading off the third for his first homer of the spring. Takes a strike. And Steve, earlier, in case you're just tuning in, was telling you what Nolan Ryan did for this ball club when he came on as president back in February of 08. His first year, this club had a 5.37 ERA. The next year, it was a 4.38 ERA. The next year was a 3.93. The next year it was a 3.79, and last year it was a 3.99. What a turnaround.
Well, the reason why the ERA was higher last year than it's been was a proliferation of Tommy John surgeries.
Right to the bag, bobbles the ball. He's got time. Two down.
Could have been a double play. It wasn't. And that's going to be it. As with Mr. Moreland up, you want to put pitchers in situations that they'll face in the season, so it's lefty against lefty. Donnie Veal comes in as Lindstrom steps out, and we will step out and be back after these messages. Nice job by Matt Lindstrom as he got 3 ground balls. One, obviously, on base via catcher's interference. But Matt did his job, and he brings on Donnie Veal. Veal last year, 1.38 ERA, 24 games, pitched a grand total of 13 innings, and he comes in to do what he will do during the year. Retire a tough left-hand hitter.
Mitch Moreland hitting at .412 from the spring, 4 homers, 12 RBIs. Mitch Moreland's a big man, 6'2", 230 pounds.
Come on, buddy.
And that pitch outside for a 2-0 count. And that's going to be out of play.
I get it.
Just tuning in, Sox with a run in the first. Texas tied it on a home run by Soto in the third, and a 3-run homer by Brandon Short, top of the fourth, and that is the scoring, 4-1. Well, they're taking a long time. Jimenez and Veal hooking up. Looks like they're just giving him nothing but fastballs, and now 2 strikes. Let's see it.
Well, I would think it'd be the slider. we've seen Moreland with some pretty big power, especially in that Texas ballpark.
He gone. We're into the 6th, leading 4-1. Sox lead at 4-1 here in the top of the 6th, and excellent outing by Chris Sale.
Chris Sale was just terrific today. Gave up just the one hit, that the home run to Soto. Other than that, he was pretty close to untouchable, and he used all of his pitches. The changeup especially good today, as was the backdoor breaking ball. So because we are getting close to the start of the season, and Chris is going to be the opening day starter, this looked to be a short outing for him, and that's exactly what it was. 4 relatively easy innings, and former White Sox pensman Jason Frazier, spent last year at Toronto, comes in, and he's a new addition to the ball club. Garcia takes over at shortstop. He has won the utility job, and so Andrus is out, Garcia is in.
And first pitch to Hector is taken for a ball. Sanchez on deck. Jimenez is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and reached on an error by Andrus. A beautiful day here in Surprise. A little tough to get to, but it is a nice facility. They share this facility with the Kansas City Royals. That's out of play.
The biggest surprise is that when you get off the 101 and it says ballpark and it points you that way, and then you see these signs, ballpark, and it points you that way, and as you keep on driving you see ballpark and it points you that way, and 25 minutes later, after you get off the freeway and see ballpark, there actually is a ballpark.
Yeah, it's a Bell Road. Is in case some of you guys have been out here, Bell Road's not a nice place to. There's a nice base hit by Hector. Hector came in hitting .364 on the spring. So here's Sanchez. He's 2 for 2 with a run scored.
He was talking about how everybody in that locker room pulls for one another and seems to get along. And of course, it's no secret that it's been a pretty tight group of guys throughout this latest incarnation of the Sox team. And so when you do get here, you see just how good it can be, just how professional that locker room is. and how good the coaching staff is.
Well, Steve, we've both been around combined over 100 years in this game, and close to 100 years.
Feels like close to 200.
This might be as good a manager and coaching staff as I've ever been around.
No, it's terrific. They all know their job, and they do it very well. And they're able to do something that's fairly difficult to do, which is command the respect of a group of the 25 guys, but also, almost without exception, have the 25 guys like the coaches. And these guys are all good guys, all prolific workers, and they all know their jobs exceptionally well. We don't talk enough, I don't think, about Mark Parent and the job he does being the bench coach for Robin. But they were a great tandem last year. And, of course, Joe McEwing at third base will be a major league manager in the not-too-distant future. He understands the game and does a great job as a third base coach. One of the things people don't realize about a third base coach, as you look at Mark Parent, is that they have to know how each and every one of the outfielders not only delivers the ball, how strong their arm is, but how many steps they're going to take. Are they better going to their left? Are they better going to their right? When you can run, when you should gamble, when you can't run. It's difficult to be a third base coach in the major leagues.
And of course, Jeff Manto did such a terrific job last year. Nothing need be said about Don Cooper.
Jeff Manto turned around a whole lot of our hitters last year, and did it, in his own words, by not looking at the tapes each and every day, all day, but by talking to them about what approach he would like them to use against certain pitchers and the tendencies that all of those pitchers have.
Payoff pitch, another foul. Well, the approach is the thing. There's no question about that.
Hey, Lane, buddy.
Jason Frazier. Another 3-2 pitch coming up to Angel Sanchez.
Go.
There he goes. And there's ball 4. So the first 2 men aboard. Good at bat by Jimenez. A good at bat by Sanchez. And here comes Brandon Short. And here's what he did in the 4th inning with 2 aboard.
He got a change up in the zone. That's the difference in the game, because it was a 1-1 tie at that point. That made it 4-1, where it still stands.
Good lane, buddy.
Two on, nobody out. Sox looking for some more. Good pass at it.
Hit him up.
Ground ball in the hole, base hit. So now they're going to hold the runner, Jimenez. That'll load him up. 3 good at bats here off Frazier.
In Arizona, if that ball is not hit right at the infielder, odds are overwhelming it's going through. And Joe McEwing realizing that with nobody out and with a catcher running, just don't want to take any chances.
We'll work on it now. Come on.
Here's Wise. He's 0 for 2 with the base on balls. Always in that sequence, in this scenario, first pitch is a huge pitch. And it goes ball 1.
Ball 1 not even close as Frazier has come in really struggling.
Chase ball 2, but 1-1 to count. Gentry with the throw is not going to. Has a good throw. He would have been
a gone goose. You just as soon catch that ball on the right side of your body instead of the left, but with these high skies and difficult conditions, you just want to corral it. You see it caught on the left side, meaning he's got to transfer it all the way over to the right side to get the throw off. Again, with Jimenez at third base, all it takes is a decent throw and you're going to hold him right there, and that's what he did.
So here's Bell. Last year with Baltimore. Hitting in Kevinger's slot. Jeff was 2 for 3. What new? Now 20 for 42 on the spring. And a reminder, our next game coming your way tomorrow. Against the Cleveland Indians, final spring game here in Arizona. We'll come home tomorrow night. Then there will be 2 games, exhibition games up at Miller Park.
Which will have the extreme benefit this time of year of being indoors.
And there's a base hit. Breaks his bat. Meanwhile, he gets the job done as 1 will score. And it's a 5-1. And now 2 will score on the error on the throw. So it's 6-1.
Mike Maddox comes out from the dugout. He wants a word with Frazier. Kept that ball down, looked like a changeup as Bell just guided it into right field. Lollipop throw in the infield as it gets away. Probably shouldn't be E7, but it probably will be. E9 rather, but it will be.
Mike Maddox, himself a very fine pitching coach. And here's Tank. Seattle back in the first inning hit a screaming Mimi double into right center field and scored on the double by Dunn.
Maddox has done a terrific job here in Texas. They paid him a pretty good salary to come over from Milwaukee. Nolan Ryan at that point said, we're going to get one of the better young pitching coaches around. And there he is, the brother of Greg Maddox. And that one's gone.
Way back. You can put it on the board. Yes. It is 9-1 Sox. For Tank, his 3rd homer of the spring. And he now has 14 RBIs.
For Jason Frazier, a pretty tough 6th inning. And that's going to be it, as he's given up a 5 spot. and they're all earned.
Yes, they are. So he'll depart. A new Texas pitcher coming on, and we'll be back.
Viciato will bring Robbie Ross in from the bullpen. Ross, one of the surprises of camp last year, started out exceptionally well, then ran into some difficulties, still finished 6-0, the ERA 2.22 in 58 games, and he is one of the key parts of that bullpen.
Lohman making his first plate appearance, hitting an Adam Dunn's slot. Fouls it away. 9-12-1 for our guys. 1-1-2 for their guys. As very quickly the count. Yeah, Ross came on first time we had seen him last year against us and just threw nothing but strikes.
Yeah, he was very impressive. And again, with the highest he was Double-A experience, and that wasn't all that long. He just forced his way onto the ball club. He retired late because he hadn't been that far in the major leagues. But all in all, a great year for him.
Got him. So that is out number 2.
Steve Tollefson getting his first at bat as he came on defensively for Alexi.
So Seth Lohman punches out. Seth's got a chance to be a pretty good hitter. That's deep in the hole. Garcia, the high throw over everything. So Tollefson reaches on the error. Rangers came in with only 14 errors on the spring. They have committed 3 today.
This one past the diving Beltre. Then no chance on that throw. Garcia just airmailed it.
So here's Gillespie.
They're going to give him a base hit on that.
Good. Steve will take it.
Keep that batting average up over 300 for the spring.
It was a tough play. But in the big leagues, you're supposed to make that play.
Yes.
You as a pitcher especially would appreciate that play being made.
If you don't, that backup infield job probably is not going to be yours for a while, but he looks like he has a strong arm.
Yeah.
That dugout screen will attest to that.
There's the strike. Ball hit into left field. Murphy. He'll corral it, and that'll retire the side, but not before a big crooked number goes up on that board, a 5 spot, and we lead it 9-1. And starting with opening day on April 1st, Bacardi at the Park will open for 4 hours. They will open 4 hours before the start of the home games with half-price appetizers and raffles after every game. Be sure to stop by Bacardi at the Park at U.S. Cellular Field's Gate 5 Plaza.
Got some changes for our Sox. Trace Thompson takes over in center field. Keenan Walker will slide into left field. And Brian Anderson comes in behind the plate. Donnie Veal still in the ball game after retiring Mitch Moreland to get out of that 5th inning.
Greg Gentry will lead it off. 0 for 1. Alexi made a good play to get him. Gentry, a speedster. If you're just tuning in, Chris Sale went 4 innings, giving up the 1 hit. That was a homer by Giovanni Soto. And that's the only hit the Rangers have today. Good fastball strike.
Gentry is going to split the center field duties with Leonis Martin. Martin, a left-hand hitter. Gentry, a right-hand hitter. So they feel both defensively and offensively they've got center field fairly well covered.
They do. Martin's a good-looking player.
I think it's going to be a good platoon system. Although Gentry trying to make a bid to get a little more playing time than just against the left-handers.
It's out of play. The old platoon system. Started with the Yankees. Woodling and Bauer. Gene Woodling, Hank Bauer. Casey said, "Hey, these guys can hit. I got to play one against right-handers and the other against left-handers." Woodling was a left-handed hitter, and that's how the whole platoon system started.
His left-hand hitter with maybe his feet closer together when he hit than any other hitter in the history of the game. Looked like he was a stork. Looked like he was standing on one leg.
Musial had his close, but not quite as close as Gene Woodling.
And now if you're a left-hand hitter and you play every day in the minor leagues coming up against the left-hand pitchers, but if you come to the major leagues, you're not a star. You pretty much have to establish that you can hit left-handers or look good against left-handers. Otherwise, they're going to platoon you. Could never understand that because you got to the major leagues because you could hit everybody.
When I first came up, I hurt my ankle in spring training. I had the club mate. I hurt my ankle, so they sent me down to Dallas. And I was called up in '63 to Kansas City. And Eddie Lopat was the manager. And he was platooning me. Is that ball into right field? Short is there. So finally, after about 2 or 3 weeks, and as Robin comes out, I had to go in his office and I said, Mr. Lopat, you know, last year in the Eastern League I hit 40 home runs and I didn't hit them all for left-handers. I said, if you want to platoon me, could you please let me platoon and play against right-handers? Good job by Veal. He departs. Nate Jones comes on and we'll be back.
Donnie Veal departs after a couple of hitters, and Nate Jones comes in. Hasn't given up anything this spring, which goes pretty much hand in hand with what happened to him last year, 8-0 out of the bullpen. He just has overwhelming stuff. When he gets the ball over the plate, nobody looks too good against him. He can throw 100 miles an hour. He's got a very hard slider. And he will start off against one of the great first ball fastball hitters in our league, Ian Kinsler.
Ian is grounded to third and struck out his 2 at-bats. Sox 9-13-1. Rangers 1-1-2. Takes first pitch strike.
I like what Robin did with Donnie Veal because he let him sit on the bench. He is a situational left-hander, but he didn't just use him against that one left-hand hitter. That one almost hit Kinsler in the head on a hanging slider. But he allowed Donnie to come out knowing that eventually he is going to have to get out right-handers, and he got out Gentry. It's a nice job by Donnie Veal. It's been Sale, Lindstrom, and Veal who have all given way now to Jones.
I like what he did with Lindstrom.
They let him get to 3 ground balls, and one of them, the catcher's interference, wasn't his fault, so he should have been out of the inning. But
last outing got hit hard.
Got him out of there with a positive attitude. He did his job. He threw the ground balls that he had to throw. Part of what is going to be a pretty good bullpen this year. Lindstrom, another of the additions, and a quiet addition. It wasn't one of those springs, one of those winters where you just go out and acquire flashy free agents. Obviously, the payroll wasn't there to support that. So Rick and his whole team of evaluators had to get creative, had to bring in guys that didn't cost that much, but guys that could help a pretty established baseball team. There wasn't a lot of competition this spring. And it was a good year, not a great year last year. Anytime you don't get to the playoffs, it's not a great year. But most of the guys returning, and we're going to reclaim their spots.
Well, I think last year it certainly was a good year. There's no question about that. No question. Way above expectations that everybody. But the attendance to me last year was misleading only because April and May were absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. The season tickets were down just a little bit, and we drew almost 2 million people.
The season tickets this year are up, and we just have to have Mother Nature cooperate a bit and get us some pretty decent weather early. And, of course, it helps to get off to a good start.
Yeah, but it was last year, April and May, it was hard because of the wet. Oh, Roger said it was the worst April and May he's ever experienced. Roger Bossert, our great groundskeeper.
So here's Garcia's first at bat after taking over defensively for Andrus. Nate Jones with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning and fouled that ball off to the left. While Andrus was in there, he went 0 for 2, a couple of ground outs. The Rangers today, a very powerful hitting team, and they were playing most of their entire team. Only the one hit. That the home run leading off the 3rd inning by Giovanni Soto. That's the only run that the Rangers have. And quickly Garcia in an 0-2 hole. 2 outs, nobody on. And it's been all Sox. 9-13-1 for our Sox. 1-1-2 for the Rangers. That one almost gets a part of the front foot. Skips away. One more game here from Arizona, that being tomorrow against the Indians. Game time, 2 o'clock in Chicago.
Yeah, last year we only missed 2 million by 34,000. And with that weather in April and May, not bad. Our fans. Plus, it took them a while to warm up to that ball club. They wanted to see what was going to go on. They wanted to see Robin. And they did. And, boy, I'll tell you what, we got a chance to have a big attendance here this season. And if you're just tuning in and they're not here, opening day is sold out. No other tickets are available. Another foul ball. So the count hangs at 1-2 to Garcia. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Outfield obviously swung well around to the left. Ken Walker giving chase.
Yeah, nice at bat by Garcia as he's fouling off some pretty tough pitches. From a guy thrown in the high 90s.
Garcia and Santiago in the Dominican. Yuri Garcia.
That one can't feel too good. He just missed getting him a few pitches ago, and this time he did get him. That slider sweeping low and in. Right off the foot.
Well, he's got the club made, so he's going to stay in there as much as he can.
Yeah, he does have the club made, but he's still here in Arizona, so he doesn't want to get hurt to end this spring. And if, in fact, it is hurting him, he's just going to suck it up and go to first.
So here's Berkman. Lance has struck out and grounded to second.
Come on, man.
Dave Anderson, the coach at first, talking with him. Gary Pettis has taken over as a third base coach this year. Dave Magadan, the hitting coach. There's a look at Gary Pettis, a terrific base runner, great outfielder in his day. Dave Anderson shifts over to first base this year. Andy Hawkins also on that coaching staff, as is Jackie Moore.
My old roommate.
You remember Jackie Moore very well.
Jackie, one of the greatest guys you'll ever meet. A catcher and one of the best batting practice pitchers. He just throws strike after strike right where you want it. If you wanted it away, he'd throw strike after strike. Unbelievable, like Dennis Eckersley almost control.
Without the stuff.
Right.
Because Dennis was not throwing batting practice.
No. Yes, he did. He gone. And that'll retire the side. We have completed 6 and we lead it by 8.
Time's
Organize a group outing of 20 or more for a Sox game during the upcoming season and receive savings off the individual game ticket price. Enhance your outing by upgrading to our new Miller Lite Bullpen Party Porch, pregame patio party, Diamond Suite, or one of our other great party areas. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
Got some changes. Rabone takes over in right field. A new battery, Torres catching. Josh Lindblom pitching. Last year, Josh with Los Angeles in the National League, 2-2, ERA just a touch over 3, 48 appearances. This spring, not so much.
Okay, buddy.
1-0 the count. save. And he throws him out. Josh Lindboom, 6'4", 240 pounds. Born in Lafayette, Indiana. Sanchez has had a good day. Takes first pitch strike. 2 for 3. Couple singles, a walk, and 2 runs scored. Also, if you're just joining us, Sanchez is on our ball club. Johnny Danks will go on the DL.
Layson Septimo will also go on the disabled list. You might remember the left-hander from last year.
Two down.
And the good news, even though Jesse Crane didn't throw very well in the outing yesterday, he didn't feel any pain. He's going to work 2 more times and fully anticipates that if he feels the same way as he feels now, he's going to be in the bullpen when the season starts.
Yeah. Breaking ball. Strike to Brandon Short, who also had a good day. He's 2 for 4, a 3-run homer, a single, and a couple of runs scored. Inning right there for Lindblom. 1, 2, 3. 7th inning stretch. 9-1 White Sox.
Tomorrow, our time in Arizona comes to a close as the White Sox take on their division rival, the Cleveland Indians, at Camelback Ranch. White Sox Indians tomorrow at 2 on Comcast Sportsnet. And Addison Reed comes into the game after just excellent pitching today. Chris Sale for 4. Matt Lindstrom for 2/3. Donnie Veal 2/3. Nate Jones for 2/3. And now Addison Reed, the closer, comes on. And it's been all Sox today. 9-1 as we head into the bottom of the 7th, and Adrian Beltre still in the game.
So our 24-year-old right-hander set a White Sox season record. Rookie record is high. Walker, he's there. 1 pitch, 1 out. What a job Addison did. 29 saves.
When you consider that it was kind of a revolving door for a while, he didn't win the job out of spring training and then took it over and thrived in that role. In the middle of a pennant race.
You better believe it. That was really...
Which for a young guy with no experience is something.
Well, I don't think anybody will ever top, for me. Maybe they will. But Bobby Jenks did in 05. That was absolutely incredible.
Well, you don't have 3 closers. I mean, in the same year, 3 closers, the third of which was Bobby Jenks, and you win the World Series.
Yeah, Dustin Hermanson had picked up 34 quick saves before his back went out. But Addison, 29 saves in the middle of a pennant race. Wow. And also, you got to go on the other side of that page, give a ton of credit to Miguel Cabrera winning the Triple Crown in the middle of a pennant race. The last guy to win a Triple Crown was back in 1967, Carl Yastrzemski, and he did it in the middle of a pennant race.
Miguel Cabrera doesn't win the Triple Crown. Mike Trout might have just won the MVP because he was all everything when he came up from the minor leagues.
Great young players coming into baseball. So he walks. Bourbon, and here's Murphy. Murphy has struck out and reached on catcher's interference. Last couple of years, this guy's hurt us. He's had some big hits. Last year, 304, 15 homers, 61 driven in, which is good numbers for a Platoon situation.
He uses the whole field, and he will make contact. Not going to dazzle you with his power. Doesn't do anything great, but does a lot of things well.
I get it.
Addison, 6'4", 220 pounds, and yet you stand next to him, he looks bigger than that.
Come on, buddy.
Good change up. Had him off balance. Well, Bobby Thigpen, who is now our bullpen coach, replacing Juan Nieves, who was the pitching coach with the Red Sox. Bobby in spring training last year said Addison Reed can do it. He said he's got the right makeup. And he was right. Another catcher's interference.
This time it was 2 different catchers. This time it was Brian Anderson. And apparently Murphy likes to reach back, because having 2 catchers interference, usually you don't see that in a month, let alone in the same game.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen one guy get 2 in one game. I can't remember one hitter getting 2 catcher's interference in one game.
Well, Brian reached out, caught the tip of the glove.
Come on, buddy.
Change up. Torres. Making his first plate appearance in Soto's slot. Soto was 1 for 2. The only hit given up by Sox pitching today, that was a homer. A long home run by Giovanni off Chris Sale. There's some gas right there. Two on, 1 out. Sox was 1 in the first, 3 in the fourth, and 5 in the sixth. 2 3-run homers, one by Brandon Short and one by Viciato.
Alex.
He gone. 2 down. So here's Moreland. He is grounded to second and struck out. 27-year-old first baseman. Last year, he 275, 15 homers, and drove in 50 in limited service. Very, very strong guy. Up and away.
Edison's been throwing a few more changeups today than he probably will throw during the course of the season, but that's to be expected.
Well, that's a big pitch for him against the left-handed hitters.
If he can get them worried about the changeup where they can't just sit on his fastball, because he has a good enough hard-breaking slider, then he's going to be really tough to deal with again.
A little giddy up on that one, missed high and wide. 2 on, 2 out, 2-1 the count. Yeah, those are the worst 5 words you can tell a hitter, as we've talked about so often. You can tell a guy he's got a great fastball, it won't bother him. You can tell a guy he's got a great curveball, it won't bother him because he can't do anything with it anyway. But you tell him he's got a great changeup, then his wheels start turning.
Especially if he's well out in front of 1 or 2 of them.
Fastball high. Keenan Walker, foul grounds, got to play, makes it, and that'll retire the side. After 7, it is Sox by 8. Book your outing of 20 to 56 people in our new Miller Lite Bullpen Party Porch. Catered package includes food and beverages for 3 hours. Enjoy all this inclusive area with some of the best seats in the house from our renovated tables in the Miller Lite Bullpen Sports Bar. Book your party porch by calling 312-674-1000 or visiting whitesox.com.
So Trace Thompson getting his first at bat of the day.
Trace had a big swing going for him this spring, working on cutting it down. Last year at 25 homers. He's going to be a good one. Then Bloom pours that strike over. A couple of ways you can shorten your swing, but it takes a lot of hard work. That left forearm, if you're a right-handed hitter, has got to fold in a hurry, so the head of the bat just gets out there to shorten it up. And then another way, without having to think about mechanics, is just stand right on top of the plate. That's off the end of the bat. He was a little too quick right there.
Can you have a big swing and have a fast bat, or is a big swing and a slow bat synonymous?
Synonymous. It's just like in golf, the same thing in baseball. In a lot of areas, they're very, very similar. If you're a right-handed hitter and that left arm just keeps going out towards the pitcher, you're not going to hit. That left arm, that forearm, has got to fold. And then the head of the bat comes, and your swing is very short. Tino Martinez, when he first came in, had a big swing going, and he had no chance. And all of a sudden, they worked with him, he started shortening it up, and now, then I should say, he became a 35 to 40 home run a year guy.
He became a very good player.
Yes, he was. Tino was a good player. Josh Bell had a big base hit. Pours that strike over. And when you're leading 9-1, even in spring training, you don't want to embarrass the other club. That's a full count. There's another base hit. Chopped over.
Keenan Walker getting his first shot. He took over in left field for Diane Viciato.
Marcus Semien, another good-looking player. This young man looks like a good-looking player. He's got it. Semien has a very short, quick swing. So here's Walker.
There's going to be a few of these guys who will not make the baseball team that will be taken up to Milwaukee so that they can come in a little later in the game, save some of the starters some innings, and then head on back to Arizona.
Torres with a nice stop. Now Keenan selected as a sandwich pick between the first and second rounds, 47th overall in the June 11th first-year player draft. 6'3", 190 pounds. Out of Salt Lake City. Last year stole 39 bases at Kannapolis in 74 games. He had 282 with a homer, 39 knocked in. He had 15 doubles, 5 triples. And that's a base hit.
One of those days, 15 hits later, where everything the guys are hitting, finding a hole.
So here's Seth Lohman. Seth, 6'4", 245 pounds. Last year at Birmingham, which is not a home run hitting ballpark, hit 276, 16 homers, knocked in 58 in 115 games. You see that very quick first move, though. They're going to have to work with him on that. He could get a little stride, a little walk into it rather than jumping at it. When you jump, that head moves, and when that head moves, you just add velocity onto somebody's fastball.
Is that where a front leg kick might slow him down somewhat?
Sure.
Give him a timing device?
Yeah. He's hitting the ground way too early with that front foot.
Lindblom now struggling. And the Texas bullpen up and going.
Had to get past it, that one, but it was a 3-1 count. He knew what was coming. Should be a redo right here. is ball 4. So sacks packed with one down. And here comes Mike Maddox.
That one went behind him. Number 89, Wolf, throwing in the pen.
And Steve Tollison, who had an infield single at the plate.
Oh, mate. Oh, mate.
High pop-up, playable. Moreland makes the catch for out number 2.
Monday opening day is here. Go live to the south side as Chuck Garfien and Bill Melton bring you all the pregame festivities. Then watch the main event as Chris Sale leads the White Sox into battle with the Royals. Don't miss White Sox opening day, Monday at 2 on Comcast Sportsnet.
So here's Gillespie. Takes first pitch strike. Corner is lined hard to short. Clancy is grounded down 3-1, and then he went out to left field. Nice block again by Torres. Popped up left side. Murphy has got the play, got the ball, and that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th, leading by
8. Only Mazda is so obsessed with the future of driving that it's revolutionizing everything. Sky.
Part of the NBC Sports Group.
And reminder, bring your family to the ballpark for our all-new Family Sundays presented by the University of Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital. Tickets start as low as $5 and parking is just $10. Kids' activities include pregame player autographs and running the post-game bases. The White Sox and Comer Children's Hospital teaming up to promote a healthy lifestyle and combat childhood obesity.
Hector Santiago comes into the game. That's what he's done this spring. 11 innings of work, 10 strikeouts. And these Rangers have 6 outs to go.
And they have 1 run on 1 hit. That was a home run by Giovanni Soto. His first of the spring. Gillespie moves from third to first, and Marcus Semien moves in at third for our guys. As here's Craig Gentry. Grounded to short and went out to right field. Rips that one right back through the middle. They say he's been swinging that bad lately.
So Gentry, Kinsler, Moreland, Beltre, and Berkman all have gone all the way for the Rangers as that rocket right back through the middle. Before Santiago can get his glove down, that ball's into center field.
Here's Kinsler. Takes a little screwball strike. Ian is grounded to third, struck out, then grounded to first. Another one. And the count 1-2. You're just tuning in. Sox was 1 in the first, 3 in the fourth. That was a 3-run homer by Brandon Short. 5 in the sixth. Another 3-run homer by Tank. Diane Viciedo. Got that screwball up out over the plate. So first 2 men aboard. So here's Garcia. He's been on the plate once and he was hit by a pitch. Hit by a pitch in the foot.
Come on, Mike.
Takes the fastball strike. Chris Sale started this game with 4 innings, 1 run, 1 hit. No walks, had 5 strikeouts. Matt Harrison started. While the Rangers went 3 1/3, 4 runs, 7 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Chris was very effective today, getting everything over the plate, including a good straight change.
Yeah, he changed on a couple of curveballs.
Be his last outing before the opening day assignment, so they kept him to 4 innings and a minimum of pitches.
Well, we touched on that game that he won last year down in Texas. He beat him when he had that dead arm period. Only hit 90 twice. He was changing off his change, changing off his fastball, changing off his breaking stuff. And I told him after the game, I said, that's the most impressive win you've had all year, even when he was touching 100 a couple of times earlier.
The maturation of a pitcher, learning how to win with less than your best, and that day he had far less than his best.
Well, you've been there and done that. If you know yourself, if you got to have your good stuff and your good control to win at the big league level, you're not going to win very many. Good pitchers, as you mentioned, learn how to do it when everything is not clicking.
Well, Sandy Koufax, who was just about as good as anybody who ever pitched for the period where he was good, said that he might have had his great stuff 25% of the time. And the rest of the time, it was a certain percentage of what was his best stuff. It's something that all young pitchers have to learn, because their arm isn't always going to be all that lively. The curveball isn't going to be curving all the time, or the slider missing, whatever his repertoire is. But there are days when it just doesn't work.
Should be. Nope.
Get that ground ball here and you'll turn that double play. You see it way too quick and a slow developing play.
He got down that line in a hurry. So here's Berkman, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a grounder to second. Well, those pitchers, those young pitchers, a lot of times they have to get over that first hump. And a lot of them, and by that hump being, when they go down to the bullpen and warm up, if they don't have their good stuff and their good control, their behinds get real tight.
Well, you always talk about Greg Maddux having a plan B and a plan C. Most young pitchers don't have the plan B. If plan A isn't working, they're gone.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Maddux said I asked him what was plan B. He said plan B is I shorten up my stride a little bit so I give my arm a chance to get up. Don't get out there too far, like we were talking about Derek Lowe earlier. And I said, well, what's plan C? He said, well, I get below the hitting speed. And if you don't think that takes some courage, facing big league hitters. Wow. What a play. Mercy. Joe Berkman. That's a hang wolf right there. Meanwhile, we're into the ninth. Yes.
Our GMC professional grade players of the game are, well, a 3-run homer will usually get you there, and Brandon Short hit one in the 4th inning. That made it 4-1 at the time. And equally as good a day came off the bat of Diane Viciedo. 3-run homer for him. They both had a couple of hits, and so we couldn't choose one, so we gave you both of them. And Ross Wolf comes into the game for the final 3.
And he's got Brian Anderson at the plate.
Harrison, Lowe, Fraser, Ross, Lindblom, and now Wolf.
Upstairs, gas. One down. Angel Sanchez. 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Rangers 93 and 69 last season. Sox 85 and 77. So Mr. Wolf coming in throwing nothing but strikes.
Good movement, especially late.
Just takes a couple steps, looks up, and you can put it on the board. Yes, a bomb by Sanchez, and it's 10-1. Mercy.
Well, that fastball, instead of being away, was on the inner half. That's where Torres apparently wanted it, but I don't think he wanted it there. That one long gone.
And that one inside to Brandon Short. 2 for 4. We showed you that 3-run homer. He also singled and scored in the 6th. He's hit the ball hard 3 times today. And the count 1-1.
Sanchez has to be happy about that one, because he got every bit of it.
That ball was killed. That ball's hit hard. He looks up. You can put it on the board. Yes, just a little short, quick swing by Brandon, and it's 11-1. Another bomb.
That ball up and out over the plate. 3 for 5 today with 2 homers for Brandon Short.
Especially gratifying after only playing in 22 games last year.
And with Rios out with an achy back, Brandon Short getting his opportunity and making the most of it, leaving an impression, and a solid impression.
That ball ripped. Stay fair. Just a rocket out of here by Trace Thompson.
I think Ross Wolf will probably be thinking about changing speed sometime soon. That fastball's not getting it. He's getting some good distance on that fastball.
2 balls and a strike. Trace, as I mentioned earlier, had 25 home runs last year. And there's ball 4. So the Sox with 11 runs on 17 hits. As Maddox out to the mound. Rangers 1 run on 3 hits. 2 of those hits coming last inning.
The side-arming number 49, Rowan, loosening up. Mike Maddox has made a lot of trips to the mound today.
So here's Marcus Semien. Another guy with a very fundamentally sound swing. That ball hit hard. Nice play. Can't get it. That'll be a base hit for Marcus. And that'll load him up. Beautiful play by Garcia, though.
Looked like he might have had a shot at second, but as it turned out, Thompson was down there a little too quickly. That is going to be it, as Maddox will make a change. So as Wolf leaves, we'll step out and be back after these messages. Ben Rowan comes into the game. He's a submarining right-hander. As Mike Maddox and Ron Washington trying to find somebody who can end this game.
Bye Bye Baby by Frankie Valli. The background, boy, what a great play. If you haven't seen Jersey Boys, you get a chance, don't miss it. Fantastic. Here's Keenan Walker. Takes first pitch strike. And this should be it. Yep. It's the Speedy Walker. There are a couple across the plate. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, leading by 9. (11-1) good guys here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Adrian Beltre will lead it off. He is 0 for 3 today. He's going the distance. Well, he came in hitting .225 on the spring, so he just wants to get some at-bats. Last year, Beltre hit .321, 36 homers, and 102 knocked in. 1-1 pitch. Brandon Short, what a day. 3 for 5, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Off the glove of Simeon, took a bad hop on him. And a reminder, you can follow our White Sox with MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, or Android. Get spring training scores, stats, highlights, live audio, and more. Text at bat to 31826 or visit WhiteSox.com for details. So here's Barbone. Julio Barbone. He's been to the plate one time and he walked. Turn it over. Boy, Sanchez didn't get a whole bunch on that throw coming down that low.
That's got to be turned even with the speed of Bourbon. It was hit right at Tollison. And that low flip. Of course, the throw was low. That might have added to it.
Here's Murphy. Murphy is 0 for 1 and twice has reached on catcher's interference.
Let's see, Anderson better just sit back and keep his left hand as close to the body as he can get it.
In my whole career, I never had that happen.
Nor I. I didn't swing that much, though.
I'm getting ready to say I had an at-bat of 2 more than you did.
Yeah, a few more.
He gone.
I never remember fouling a ball off my foot because I was bailing out so much that the ball couldn't reach my foot. But it was afterward when I was taking some batting practice in a cage long after I'd retired. I finally, off a 65-mile-an-hour fastball, hit one off my instep.
Oh, boy.
Boy, that hurts.
Yeah, it does. Bullet by Torres back up the middle. And bring up Mitch Moreland. Mitch is grounded to second, struck out, and fouled out to left. Just tuning in, Chris Sale started. 4 innings, 1 run, 1 hit. The homer by Soto. No walks, 5 strikeouts. Matt Harrison, their opening day pitcher, started for them with 3 1/3, gave up 4 runs on 7 hits. That's high. Trace Thompson, long way to go. And that's out of here.
I think it bounced out.
But it bounced out. That's the double. Ground rule double.
He got that ball up in the jet stream. Looked like he hit it off the end of the bat.
He did.
And I think he figured it was going to be caught, but ball just kept on going. 1 hop off the track. And the game stays alive. Texas pulls within 9.
Solarte, the runner.
That's a Stereo Solarte coming in the game.
Come on, Jen.
Gentry took that pitch nicely. Boy, there's no jumping at the ball with him. He hit a bullet. Back through the middle. Leading off last inning. And fouls that one off the end of the bat. Trying to come back with that spin on it.
Well,
Gillespie just couldn't get there.
Yeah, Gentry, I think, figured it out last year. Only 204 at bats, but he hit 304. Was the first year where he really showed that he can hit here. They always knew he could field. They always knew he could run like the wind. He's actually trying to make a bid to play every day.
One to count. When you're seeing the ball as good as he is, that's when you hit 2-0-3-1. By Tollison. So another run scores. And that'll bring up Kinsler. Santiago throwing a lot of pitches last inning and this inning. Well, if the screwball is going to be part of your arsenal, this is a tough place out here in Arizona to work on it. That's got to be tougher than throwing than the curveball.
Just doesn't move very much. But it's not all that effective if you keep falling behind.
No. And leaving it up out over the plate. This should do it, hopefully. Sanchez called off by Brandon Short, who stays with it and makes the catch, and this ball game is over. So the Rangers put up a rally here in the bottom of the ninth. Meanwhile, Chris Sale looked really good at that.
I thought he was terrific, and if this is a portent of things to come, he's going to have a big year and improve on those 17 wins from last year.
All right, a reminder, our final spring training game is tomorrow. We'll have it for you right here on Comcast Sportsnet against the Cleveland Indians at 2 p.m. In the final here, Surprise Stadium, 11-3 White Sox. So for Steve Stone, for Jim Angio, for Michelle Godwin, for our associate producer, Chris Campton, technical manager, Mark Harper, and our senior executive producer, Vince Jim Corno Jr. This is the Hawk. So long, everybody.